Traditional cemeteries like this one bring some people comfort. For others, it's a bit creepy, especially on Halloween. And yet a growing number of people see the granite, the cement, the chemicals involved, and they feel it's cold, impersonal, less circle of life, more dead end. As demand grows nationwide, more and more traditional cemeteries are adding green burial sections. Milan Cemetery is one of a handful in Michigan, says end-of-life advisor Marilyn Rush.
They have this very large conventional section where you see all of the markers, and all of that is filled with concrete. And then you look over here into this section, which looks so much more natural and inviting, and it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's not as honoring.
In a green cemetery, you won't find traditional headstones.
We have probably 8 or 10 graves back here.
At first glance, you might not even find a grave.
This is a grave right here.
Some are piles of dirt, others are marked with groups of stones, and some families plant trees or bushes where their loved one lies. Plants are able to thrive and grow deep roots because green burial sites do not allow embalming chemicals or anything else toxic in the ground.
You return to the earth in a coffin or a casket or a burial shroud that allows you to decompose and return to the earth in a natural way.
Michigan company Milan Vault offers a number of options from biodegradable pine boxes to something called a burial shroud.
Just a simple cloth wrapped a couple times around you and tied in the ends, and you're lowered down.
These options cost a lot less than traditional caskets, making death easier on your wallet and the environment. But green doesn't always mean cheap.
There is also hand-woven units made in England by artisans. There's units made from cane and rattan made in the Asian countries.
Green burial plot maintenance fees tend to cost more too.
If you're burying without that cement vault, the ground is going to sink in as everything decomposes, and you don't want to be running your heavy equipment, your front hoe or your lawnmowers, over a fresh grave.
It's an option that appeals to Mary and Woody. They live on a few dozen acres outside of Ann Arbor in a home where Mary gave birth, where last year Woody's mother was laid to rest.
Over there is the grave.
How do you know?
Well, there is a marker.
There's a path here.
Beyond just a green burial,
It's in its natural state.
they wanted something personal,
We dug the hole by hand.
something meaningful.
Everybody who came to the burial helping fill the hole.
They planned ahead, applied for county permits, and buried Woody's mother themselves after conducting a funeral service in their home.
Being in your own home is much more personal than being in an institutional home, a funeral home.
For home funerals, dry ice is used instead of embalming, and someone like Marilyn Rush is hired to help wash and prepare the body and even navigate legal red tape.
I think the baby boomers are really going to be changing the paradigm of how we handle death, funerals, and burials in our country.
For us, this is where we live, so part of the fabric of our family.
When it comes to home funerals and home burials, Michigan is one of the most restrictive states in the nation, so there's a lot of red tape. But green burials are much easier. The Preserve at All Saints Cemetery in Waterford specializes in these. Many other cemeteries in the state are learning. I'm Jennifer Ann Wilson, 7 Action News.
I bet you after seeing like that, the interest will grow, just like, you know, in cremation, it's up as well.
And I think if you live in like acreage someplace and it's like a homestead, yeah, I think that's great. Out in the suburbs, I'm not sure it's a great idea, but
Right, because where would you do it?
Exactly, people start making the decisions, but it's out there for discussion, so discuss.
Yeah, and she said it's not cheap. I mean, it might be cheaper, but not cheap.
Right.